On last week's episode, we made it to the region of Galicia, walked through the darkness on the longest day of the Camino, and traveled through the clouds and down to the valley as we near the last section. Welcome to episode 11 of My Camino Diaries. Monday, June 10th, and today we're heading to Sarria, which is somewhat the designated point for the last 100 kilometers on this Camino, which is surreal to think that we're at this point, quite honestly. Woke up this morning, felt great. I had a good sleep last night, woke up feeling good, packed up all our stuff, and we're heading out now. It's a little bit before 6:30, so the sun is just, well, kind of cloudy at the moment, but I'm sure the sun will pop out at some point, so hopefully it's gonna be good. And now we are taking our steps, one step after another, towards Sarria today. Also, the resident albergue puppy almost wanted to come along with us, which is really cute. But no, unfortunately, he had to stay. As you leave Triacastela, you have the option of going left or right. The left being the alternate, which will take you to Samos. The right is the more traditional route, which is the one we took. We've been climbing uphill, at least for the last half hour. And of course, with going uphill, you must go down. These downhills are no joke either. Some of them are quite steep. Now there aren't many stops in between Triacastela and Sarria, but just so happens, at the end of the town, Montan, is a little donativo called Tierra de Luz, offering fresh fruit, snacks, cookies, and even a fresh café con leche. And it was one of the best café con leches I've had. Just had ourselves a nice little pit stop here in Montan. It's a little donativo along the road because there's really not much from Triacastela to about here, so it's lovely that they do that. It's a little oasis in the middle of nowhere if you think about it. We did get some nice, delicious coffee, and some good breakfast items there too. And the cool thing about Donativos is that, you know, you can give what you can, especially since they prepare these items every morning for, you know, all the pilgrims that are walking these paths. So it's basically out of, you know, volunteering their time and energy to make sure, you know, us pilgrims are fed and looked after for as much as possible. So definitely donate, you know, enjoy what you can, and you know, give back. So it's great. With a bit more climbing, it wouldn't be long until we reached Sarria. Since arriving to Sarria earlier than expected, we bumped into Hannah towards the city center. From there, she told us about a little place, a family-owned panaderia that's been around for 100 years. So, we took a little detour. It's really filled with Nutella. And did a couple errands while we were in the area. Made it into Sarria. We actually got here around 11, but we've just been walking around and took care of a couple errands since our albergue isn't really open yet. So now we're heading there. Hopefully they're open by the time we get there, and then just explore later and rest for the rest of the afternoon. So it's a pretty short day in terms of walking. It's not too bad, so which is good. It was nice to have the whole afternoon just to relax and have a nice siesta. Took us a little afternoon siesta, so feeling a little more energized. I did have my lunch earlier from the grocery store, which is great. So I'm not too hungry right now, so let's hold off until dinner. Gonna go explore a little bit, see what I can find. May go back to the little pastry shop and get a couple more pastries, because those were pretty good. I will say it is. So let's go explore. Went exploring with Sarah and Keld, but ended up going back to the pastry shop, Palas. The pastries were really good for me to want to come back again. Went back to the bakery with Sarah and Kil, and the daughter, lovely daughter, very sweet and nice. She served us, we got our stuff, but she also gave us little free treats for us to share. Oh my god, probably one of the next best ventures we've done. So worth it. Worth it. Family generation of pastry chefs. If you're here in Sarria, give it a go. This Palas. On the way back before dinner, we also visited the church that was near our albergues. We were fortunate enough to also attend the Pilgrim's Mass. Now, to qualify for a Compostela, you would just need to complete the last 100 kilometers of any Camino. So you will see a lot of pilgrims start their Caminos from here. And and for my short time here, I've certainly seen many new faces. Tonight's pizza dinner, I will say, ranks second to the pizza I had in Foncebadon. I've said this many times already, but I do cherish these moments I get to spend with my Camino family. And in a few days' time, we will all be walking into Santiago. Morning. It is Tuesday, June 11th. Woo, can't believe it's already the 11th. It's a lovely morning here in Sarria. Headed out during our usual time. Sebastian here up in front. Yeah, it's nice. It's a little bit of a chill this morning, but there is no clouds in sight, so it should be a nice and sunny day. Today we are heading to Portomarin, and it's roughly about, I believe, 23 kilometers, 14 miles, around there. Should be good. Had a pretty decent sleep last night. My bunk was a little creaky in terms of the frame, but I did get some sleep. Then woke up during my usual time. Had dinner with the gang last night, which is pretty good. We had some pizzas once again, but it was homemade. It was actually, fresh dough and everything like that. So yeah, we're gonna start walking, heading out, and head to today's destination. Oh yeah, and I replaced the rubber tips on my poles last night because the replacements I originally had didn't really last, 3 days. These ones are the same brand that are my poles, so they should be able to last a bit longer, which is good. So no more clickety clacky of the tips on the ground there. It was a quiet morning heading out of Sarria. We encountered a pilgrim or two as we walked, though not as many as we had thought, as many were starting from Sarria. Maybe they were starting later in the day. So we've been walking for a little over 2 hours. Roughly about a 10k distance, so it's about 6 miles. Not much open in terms of pit stops. There was one cafe, but they didn't open till like 8:30, so kept on walking. Hopefully next town we'll see something. We'll see. Halfway, walking to Portomarin, we passed the official 100-kilometer marker. It's a bit surreal to think that that is all we have left to walk. It's about 62 miles. few kilometers away from Portomarin. Sped through our kilometers today. Well, we didn't have that many stops today, so that could be it. Clouds have moved in. I don't think it's gonna rain. This is gonna be these kind of conditions for the rest of the day, but it's better than the heat, I will say. But it is nice. Sebastian's giving me a face right now. I'm like, nope, nope. He wants the sunshine. I'm okay with this. I love it. I'm okay. I'm okay. But yeah, so here's the valley. Check it out. The valley below. Wait, one more time. And down there should be Portomarin. So that will be where we are staying tonight. And of course, we gotta figure out where our albergue is. And then highly likely meet up with the rest of the Camino family for dinner. Or even a cerveza or two. When we just came down from that. Portomarin, and it's nice and breezy. Sun's coming out again. The way this town is situated reminds me of actually Porto in Portugal because it's on a hill. It's pretty cool, but it's lovely out here today. And look, we're right by the river. Portomarin is a small town. Fun fact, the current location of the town is not the original. That can be found deep within the waters of the river. It was flooded to make way for the reservoir that was being built in the 1960s. So all historical buildings, brick by brick, was moved to its new location. When the water is low enough in the river, you can still see the old Roman bridge and portions of the village. Alright, checked into our albergue, which is pretty decent. So it's kind of a smallish albergue, but we're gonna rest up a bit. This is the earliest we've actually finished in terms of our regular kilometers, because today was about 23 kilometers, so that's about 14 miles. And normally we get into town between 1:30 and 2, but I think it's because we didn't have as many stops in between. And the weather was pretty nice that we didn't have to, really just struggle too much. So we had some really awesome clouds, winds, some sunshine. Sunshine's coming back out. But for now, I'm just gonna pretty much relax my feet. My feet have been pretty okay since the last few days. So I don't know if that's a good sign or something. Hopefully not conducive of anything serious. But yeah, that's about it for now. I was feeling a little adventurous, so I decided to make myself a little bocadillo. The pastries I got yesterday at Palas, the bakery in Sarria. So good. Wish I would have bought more, but I'm already carrying enough stuff. Of course, later met up with the Camino family.
What are you doing here?
And was fortunate to celebrate another Camino birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
was quite excited for tonight's dinner. I opted for the spinach lasagna. Any chance I can get to get some vegetables, I will take it. Of course, as well as the lively conversations with the Camino family. Good morning. It is Wednesday, June 12th. So a little bit, well, let me check here. A little bit after 6:30 in the morning, our usual time that we get up and go. Feeling all right. Hold on a second. Let me show you something. Pretty neat. Sun's coming out, as you can see. Pretty all right night here in Portomarin. They're not really eventful in any way whatsoever. It's a small town, so really can't miss anything. Got a few hours of sleep. Yeah, that's all I could say. Today we are going to Palas de Rei. It's roughly about 25 kilometers around there, and or 25, so 14 miles. So we'll see. Of course, starting the morning off with the morning climb. You'd think after 30 days we'd be used to it right now. Nope. Nope. Not one bit. Of course, with the climb up, you work up a good appetite. It wouldn't be until roughly an hour until we get to our first stop. Alright, just had our first pit stop here in Castro Mayor, and sun's coming out a little bit, but also the wind is starting to pick up again. So wore my gloves. I don't know if you can see that. We'll see how this goes. But the wind really is blowing today. Whew. And we kept climbing. There aren't too many stops between the two towns, so be sure to bring some snacks with you, just in case. Random thought. I've been walking for about 30 days now, and it's one of those things where I can feel the tiredness. It's like the fatigue is slowly catching up to me, not just physically, but also mentally. It's not an easy feat to be walking for 30 days. It's been a rewarding trip so far, and we're close to the end here. in terms of reaching our destination, our end destination. It's been more than I had expected. It's a good thing. So I would not trade it for anything. Made it to Palas de Rei. I arrived at my albergue 30 minutes before they opened, so I took it upon myself to visit the little church right next door. Made it to Palas de Rei, checked into my albergue, got settled in, heading to the grocery store at the moment. There's a lot of up and downs today in terms of the hills, but just somehow I survived. My feet have survived. So heading off to the grocery store right now to kind of get a couple snacks here and there, maybe a small lunch, and yeah, we'll see what else will happen today. The rest of the gang is coming up pretty soon. They're behind us. Sebastian's in a different hostel tonight, albergue, so we'll likely all meet up for dinner. Later in the afternoon, after doing all my usual errands and having a little lunch, I met up with the Camino family at the nearby bar restaurant. We enjoyed the day with some sangrias and some lively music. For dinner, we opted for a restaurant that served various tapas items and, of course, pulpo, which is octopus. It was quite delicious. After today, we've only got a few days left until we reach Santiago. On next week's episode, counting down the last kilometers of the Camino, meeting the latest albergue puppy, and cooking one big family meal. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.